Today I have a chance to talk about something very quickly. While I'm in the process of upgrading all kinds of camera gear, as you've seen in the last video about the Canon EOS R and switching from Sony to that camera system, I'm also in the process of upgrading my microphone. Most of my videos on this channel have been recorded with the Røde VideoMicro. This little really tiny microphone, it's great, it doesn't need battery, it comes with a foam and a windscreen that looks like this, and it just works basically. Other videos that are on my channel might be recorded with the SmartLav Plus that I have on me right now because I'm demonstrating with all the other microphones. So this is the microphone that I use for pretty much all videos on my channel throughout the last 2 or 3 years. And most often I also had the windscreen on, which is this little gray ball, and it just pops onto the microphone like so. And then you kind of like screw it on because it needs to be snug fit and everything. About this little microphone, just in case you have that, there's a tip, which is that actually there's these grooves because it only has one direction of bouncing and like the stabilization. If you clip that into here after you screw it on, it actually doesn't do that, and there's less noise in the process because sometimes if you have it like this and it kind of like goes like that, it has this boing boing sound that you don't really want. But now I actually upgraded to the Deity V-Mic D3 Pro, which is a mouthful, and it is battery powered with a USB-C plug to charge, and it has a lot more settings. It has a gain knob and all that kind of stuff. However, that's not the main topic of this video, as you might have seen based on the title. It's about testing different wind noise reduction methods. So what we have for this test today is the VideoMic from Deity, the D3 Pro. I have the Røde VideoMicro without and with the windscreen, and I have a handful of different windscreens. So we have the Deity foam, which is the one that just comes with the camera and is actually cut out specifically for that microphone. I have the Movo WS140, which is actually interesting because I also have purchased the 160, which is set to be compatible with the Deity V-Mic Pro, the D3 here. However, I found that the 140 is actually a little shorter, and that way fits much better onto this microphone because the other one was even 2 centimeters longer. So it's like this much and then again this much. So that was definitely not a good fit for me. The smaller WS160 is a great fit for this microphone just in general. However, I want to also compare it to this thing here, which is much smaller, and I kind of like put it over the Deity foam. So that would end up looking like this. So it would be the Deity mic, the foam part on itself, and then you kind of like push this over as well. Now I'm going to just give you a couple of sound examples of how these two different microphones as well as the different foams are sounding. One warning in advance, some of these are really loud because I didn't do any of the audio editing that I usually do on these audio examples, so that you can actually listen for the wind noise that is picked up by the microphone. And specifically this one without the windscreen, which is the first one that you're going to hear, is quite loud, and everything after that pretty much gets more silent because of the wind reduction by the different foam types. But I wanted to keep it at a level that people can just judge it for themselves. So have a listen and decide for yourself which one sounds best for you. I'm going to come back after and tell you which one I choose. Now that you've heard all of the different examples with the little foamy thing right here, the Movo, the Røde VideoMicro, as well as the Deity V-Mic Pro, My personal judgment is that the Movo WS140 is probably one of the most durable choices that you can make for this microphone. However, the sound of this versus this is extremely close together, and I did not necessarily expect that. However, it kind of makes sense because with this little tiny thing, you already use the foam from the Deity microphone itself, and you just put this on top. The big benefit that I see in this combination is that this here is much smaller to pack into my backpack as an additional item. And in my personal experience, according to what I make videos about and where I make videos, I am not necessarily in the most windy conditions. So for me to buy something like the Movo WS140, this is a huge thing. And yes, you can squish it down and you can just pack it in between stuff in your backpack or something, but it still is rather big compared to this little addition for the couple of times a year that I want the wind protection in my backpack. So I'm going to choose this one here, and I'm going to leave you a link in the description where you can find this kind of stuff and what it's called, especially that you can Google it for yourself, because there's all kinds of different ones for different microphones. So of course you have to kind of like keep your eyes open to find the one that fits for yours. One more thing that I definitely noticed is the difference between these two microphones. And it's not really a wonder because this microphone costs about 5 times as much as the Røde VideoMicro. But the Deity, with the inbuilt battery, with the much bigger capsule, and all the dials and the ability to also low cut filter and stuff like that, is really cool. And with the automatic turning on and off, especially with modern cameras, it's actually not that big of a deal because that was one of the big additions or one of the big benefits that I saw in the VideoMicro. It is small and it does not need a battery. So that was a really big factor for me to keep using this one, or why I have been using this one for such a long time. But now it's time to upgrade and go for this one, because I definitely like the sound out of this one better, but that might be a topic for a future video. So I hope this wind noise example and different fluffs and windscreens and dead cats and everything was an interesting test for you and helps you in your decision making on finding the right product for your use case. I see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.